You ever have one of those days you achieve something great, but then this little voice inside your head whispers, yeah, but what if it all goes away? What if you could actually silence that voice? Not by fighting it, but by rewiring the very brain that's creating it. Okay, let's dive into the incredible science of how you can literally change your life by changing your mind, all based on the groundbreaking work of Dr. Joe Dispenza. This right here, this is so real. Even on your best days, when you should be on top of the world, that spiral of self-doubt can just creep in and hijack everything. And you know what? You are definitely not alone in this. It's a pattern so many of us get stuck in, where our own minds kind of sabotage our own happiness. But why? Why does this even happen? That's the million-dollar question we're tackling today. And here's the good news. It's not a personal failing. It's not something wrong with you. It's a biological process. And once you understand that process, well, that's the first step to finally breaking free from it. So let's get into the nitty-gritty of what's actually happening inside your head.
Okay, so whenever we start to worry, our body flips on the stress response, right? It floods us with chemicals like adrenaline. Dr. Dispenza explains that just by thinking a thought, we can get biologically addicted to these very hormones. And that's how we get caught in a loop. A stressful thought creates a stressful feeling. And that feeling, well, it just triggers more stressful thoughts. We're basically living in survival mode, even when there's no actual tiger chasing us.
So what part of the brain is running this whole show? It's something called the default mode network. Think of it like your brain's autopilot. Its main job is to try and predict the next moment based on everything it's learned from your past. The problem is, it uses a ton of energy to keep you anchored to what's familiar, making it incredibly hard to create anything new. It's designed to keep you safe in the known. And this is the choice, right here. When you're operating from the past, you're just in a predictive state, reliving slightly different versions of stuff you already know. But, and this is huge, when you step into the present moment, into the unknown, you actually deactivate that network. That's the sweet spot. That's where creativity, spontaneity, and real change actually happen. You stop being a record of your past, and you start becoming a creator of your future. Okay, so how do we actually make that shift? Well, it all starts with this active process of unlearning. And this isn't about just wishing you were different. No, this is about the deliberate, conscious practice of dismantling the old you, one thought at a time. This quote just hits the nail on the head. See, change isn't some huge, dramatic decision you make one time. It's the moment-by-moment commitment to not make the same choice you made yesterday, to not think the same thought, not feel the same limiting emotion, not do the same old behavior. It's about breaking the habit of being your old self. So Dr. Dispenza breaks this down into 3 really clear steps. First, you've just got to become conscious. You have to notice those automatic thoughts and feelings that run on a loop. Second, when you catch yourself, you have to make a new choice. You actively stop yourself from going down that familiar, worn-out path. And third, you reinvent. You decide on a new way of being. Who do you actually want to be? So once you start to unlearn the old you, it's time to build the new one. And this isn't just daydreaming. It's a real process of mental and emotional rehearsal that literally primes your brain and your body for a completely new reality. This is a total game changer, you guys. The research here is incredible. When you mentally rehearse a new way of being, your brain starts to fire and wire new connections as if the event has already happened. You're literally installing new neurological hardware to look like the future you want before it even arrives. How cool is that? And it's not just about your thoughts. You have to teach your body what that future feels like. By practicing these elevated emotions like gratitude or joy or just a sense of wholeness, you're creating the chemical signature of your future. You're teaching your body to feel the emotion of the event before the experience, pulling your biology out of the past and right into your new destiny. And this is the ultimate goal, to transform your past. It's not about pretending it didn't happen. It's about separating the memory from the emotion that kept you chained to it. When you can look back on something without that painful emotional sting, you've found the lesson. That, right there, is wisdom. So what's happening under the hood that allows for all this rewiring? It really comes down to our brain waves. You can think of them as the operating system for your consciousness. And understanding them is the key to learning how to reprogram the whole system. Okay, so when we're awake, alert, maybe a little stressed out, we're in beta. That's our normal day-to-day. As we relax and close our eyes, we shift into alpha. That's the state of imagination and light creativity. Go even deeper, and you hit theta. Now, this is the magic zone, the hypnotic state, the direct doorway to the subconscious mind. Delta is deep, restorative sleep. And gamma? That's like a state of peak awareness or super consciousness. So, the whole point of meditation, in this context, becomes crystal clear. It's a practical tool to intentionally slow your brainwaves down. By moving past that analytical, critical beta mind, you can swing open the door to your subconscious operating system. That's where all the old programs are stored, and it's the exact place where you can go in and install new, better ones. Now, I know this might all sound great in theory, but does it actually work in the real world? Well, the evidence is pretty stunning. It shows that people can and absolutely do make profound, measurable changes in their lives using these methods. True belief isn't something you just decide to have one day. No, it's forged in the fire of overcoming yourself. Dr. Dispenza shares these amazing stories of people who showed up for their meditation every single day, especially on the days they doubted it the most. It was in that very act of overcoming their own limitations that their belief was earned. So what happens when people do this work, day in and day out? This number says it all. In just 7 days, just 1 week, Dr. Dispenza's research shows that novice meditators, people who've never done this before, start to show significant biological upgrades. Their brain becomes more coherent, their heart patterns regulate, and even the chemistry of their blood changes to reflect a new, healthier state of being. 7 days. So, at the end of the day, all this science points to one simple, profound truth. You cannot create a new future if you're clinging to the emotions of your past. That fear, that guilt, that feeling of unworthiness, those are the very anchors keeping your new life from arriving. The power to change isn't out there somewhere, it is inside you. So the real question isn't if change is possible. The question is, what future are you willing to start creating right now, today?